The Apprentice is a biopic that examines Donald Trump's career as a real estate businessman in New York City in the 1970s and 1980s, as well as his relationship with lawyer Roy Cohn. The film is directed by Ali Abbasi, who directed the last 2 episodes of The Last of Us, and the film is written by Gabriel Sherman. Sebastian Stan plays Trump, Jeremy Strong plays Cohn, Martin Donovan plays Trump's father Fred, and Maria Bakalova plays Trump's first wife Ivana. A young Donald Trump, eager to make a name for himself independent of his wealthy family in 1970s New York, comes under the spell of Roy Cohn, the cutthroat attorney who would help create the Donald Trump you may love or hate today. Cohn sees in Trump the perfect protege, someone with raw ambition, a hunger for success, and a willingness to do whatever it takes to win. This review will be spoiler-free. Obviously, as an Australian, I am largely removed from the debate surrounding the 2024 presidential race. You'd be surprised how relevant it is in Australia, though. Donald Trump is always in the news and comes up regularly in conversation. American politics certainly do affect Australia, therefore I do hold interest. I do have strong opinions regarding Donald Trump and the 2024 presidential race. In this movie review, as I should, I will keep my political opinions completely veiled, and I will not reveal my personal opinion of Trump. Any accusations in the comments that I support him or that I detest him will both be totally unfounded. I am simply reviewing this film as a film, as much as I can, considering it's based on true events. Some, you would argue, allegedly true events. I will try to be fair, as I believe the filmmakers have mostly been. It is no mistake that this film is released close to the presidential race, though. Sebastian Stan is amazing here. I won't be surprised if he gets nominated for an Academy Award, although I'm not entirely sure if this is a film that the Academy would go for. Between this and A Different Man, the only person having a more prolific year than Stan is Willem Dafoe, being that he was in Kinds of Kindness, Beetlejuice, Saturday Night, and the upcoming Nosferatu. I love Stan in the MCU, but after I saw him in I, Tonya, I knew he was truly great. Can we please get him to play Luke Skywalker already? He would be perfect. We need him to save us from this deep fake hell that Disney has put us in. Anyway, Stan isn't the first person you'd think of when you think Trump. He doesn't look like him, but due to his weight gain and mannerisms, you slowly start to believe him. The reason I say slowly is because Stan does something great here. He expertly eases the audience into his performance, avoiding an SNL-like impression. In Act 1, he hardly exhibits the traits and characteristics Trump has built up to this point. It's 1970s Trump. He's a little coy and boyish, but has just the right level of arrogance to propel himself forward. In the opening scene, Trump boasts to a woman that he is the youngest person to have been accepted into a section of a particular venue, and you immediately catch a subtle glimpse of who he will become. It was very well done. Stan slowly integrates Trump's iconic voice as the film progresses, as well as the many famous mannerisms like his hand gestures and his pursed lips. For the first half of the film, I felt that it was a pretty level-headed account of Donald Trump's rise to power under the eye of Roy Cohn. Jeremy Strong is incredible as Cohn. I would say he almost gives the film's best performance, if it wasn't for him being sidelined in Act 3. Strong is hilarious. The dead eyes, the slight bobbing up and down when he talks, the deadpan delivery, the homophobia. Cohn, of course, was a closeted gay man. I found him to be so interesting. The film is surprisingly funny, although I shouldn't really be surprised, as Donald Trump is funny in real life. That is one of his defining qualities, his wit. I found the second half of the film to be disappointing, though. The film is called The Apprentice. Aside from being an obvious reference to Trump's TV show of the same name, the title holds relevance to the film being about Trump's relationship with Cohn. I understand that Trump is going to grow beyond Cohn at some point, but the way he all but vanished from the third act made the film feel lacking in a central focus that it seemed to promise from the outset at least. Act 3 spends more time going for shock factor and making some pretty bold claims about Trump and events occurring in the 1980s that it ended up feeling more like a film that you'd find hidden on a streaming service. It is even shot like a TV movie. This is done on purpose, with filters to give a time-accurate feel as well as make the film feel almost like a documentary. All too often, the film goes for low-hanging fruit, some of which felt like blatant attempts to make Trump look stupid. Act 3 also goes out of its way to make Trump look like a bad person full stop, rather than a complicated one, which is what you would hope a biopic would do for anyone. No matter the public figure, you want a film to peel back the layers and examine the human inside, with all of their complexities, positive and negative. The film is pretty good overall, but it doesn't say anything about Trump that we don't already know, which leads me to ask who the film is for. People who hate Trump will only have their hatred reaffirmed. People who do not care about Trump will not be made to care. And people who love Trump will dismiss the film. As for me, I liked the first half of the film from a historical aspect, but the script doesn't have anything new to add to the conversation or to the classic tale of how the man became the monster. You don't really get much of an insight into Trump's personal life pre this point. His family, whatever the inner workings of his psyche are, his relationships, you don't really get down to the meat of it. The performances from Stan, Strong, and also Maria Bakalova as Ivana Trump are all great and are much more dynamic than what is written on the page, and are certainly the reason to see this film.